Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda. I hope you like more bug collecting,
Oh
Princess. In
God.
this part, actually, I think we might not go straight to bug
You hope that I
collecting.
like more Agatha?
Heroic senpai. Anyway, I think we do some sort of side quest shenanigans actually before we go straight to plot type stuff. Because at this point, I think you start to unlock more side questy type things. You have the horse. You have a good chunk of the overworld to explore, so you can do a good bit more than just wandering around. Like, so there's more stuff to do. I'm pretty sure. I don't think you get like the full access to all the mini games and stuff, because that's more of a thing that you don't really get a bunch of mini games or shops or anything like that until the midpoint of the game, actually, when you unlock the Hyrule Castle town.
I'm sorry, but Colin's teeth looks weird in this version.
He's a peasant, Ryan. They don't get dental.
I think it's the black lines between the teeth are too pronounced.
Yeah.
It's HD.
He's like
That's the problem.
8. All right.
Well, he has he's supposed to have gap teeth, but it's all one model. So
yeah, I think he only has like one incisor. He has no fangs.
John, they live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
No, I'm talking about how like his tooth ratio is just whacked out.
Have you seen what happens when inbreeding happens?
Oh no.
They don't ever talk to anyone else. All right.
Oh no.
Okay.
They still have the room for it. It's just not there. This guy has like only 3 top teeth, but it takes up the entire top of the mouth.
He's British. How about that, John?
But
He's
I
British.
thought he was a kid.
Oh, do you like the lantern in here?
I don't remember if I do, but he freaks out.
And
I
then
mean,
he
rightfully so. I mean,
he
Jesus
pulls a
Christ.
lever and dumps water on your ass.
Yes.
He does it so promptly; it's like he's expecting it to. He's just like.
It also does not matter where you do it; it will fall on you. So he basically has a number of bottles or cups of water, just floating above the store, and then pulls a lever to knock him down wherever you are.
I'm sure that gas station attendants wish they had this guy's system for when people light up cigarettes at the gas station.
Oh yeah.
If that
probably.
happened, Zoolander would be a much different movie.
What?
Anyway, I think I'm going up here to. Going up here to get the Hawkeye.
I'm sorry. What the heck is a
yeah.
Zoolander?
Oh, that movie is so good. Oh my! It's a movie about male models.
You're dead to me.
Uh-oh.
Yes, but
This is. Oh,
why
now
male
you have my
models?
attention.
Yeah, it's a movie about really dumb male models.
Okay,
Why is it
lost
called
interest.
Zoolander then?
Because that's the name of one of the models. And at the beginning of the movie, he gets really depressed because he loses a modeling competition, and so he and his friends have a squirt gun fight with gasoline hoses.
What?
And then they
Excuse
die
me?
in a horrible explosion.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is the one scene I always think about every time I hear "Wake Me Up."
Well, I mean, I can't think of the song "Relaxed" without thinking of that
I
movie.
mean,
anymore.
Lewis, I assume you've seen the GIF of a bunch of dudes like in a car partying, and they put like Reggie, Iwata, and Miyamoto over them and stuff.
I think so.
That's from Zoolander.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a really funny movie. Like, it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure you should give it a shot.
I
Like,
may
one of my
watch
favorite.
that.
I mean, I know that the worst way to promote a comedy is to just spoil one of the jokes, but at one point they're like, okay, we need what's in that computer. And so they take up the computer and they throw it on the ground.
Yeah, to open it up.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Yeah, it's dumb, but it's
The satisfying type of dumb.
And and one of the funniest lines is because Ben Stiller literally forgot his line.
Wait, really?
Oh
Wow.
no.
Yeah, you know the but why male models part, Ted?
Yeah.
And then he repeats it. That's because he literally forgot the line and decided to just say the previous line again. And the reaction from the villain is literally his reaction. What are you talking about? I just
Are
told
you
you.
serious? Because I
Yes.
just told you like
Yeah.
a minute ago.
Yeah.
I love, man, if you like movies like Dodgeball, you'll like it.
It's basically the same movie as Dodgeball in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same. Like, Ben Stiller was involved in both Dodgeball and
Yeah.
Zoolander, so there's a lot of the same people involved, if I remember correctly.
So why is the demon baby talking like he's seen shit?
You're gonna ask Sir White Mill models. I'm sorry. What was your question?
why is the demon baby acting like he's seen shit?
I mean,
Because he probably has, and he's just like a 1,000-year-old demon that's inhabited the body of a baby.
That would explain a lot. Yeah. Okay.
it explains why he's so unimpressed by everything that's going on. You know, it's just like,
What
oh
if
man.
it's like
Like,
Ganon doing
really
What if it
well-
really was? What if it was just Ganondorf doing reconnaissance?
When you're a little,
That would
interesting.
Okay. I was about to say, so what? He's like the protagonist of those fan fictions where people go back in time from age 40 and, you know, are babies for half their life, and he's just waiting it out, bored as shit.
Yeah, because he can't do anything in his current body for now.
I mean, he's selling a lot of stuff. That's something.
You know, one of the most interesting fan theory ideas that I've seen lately is what if Ganondorf got reborn but wasn't evil? Like, I saw a really cool one where, like, he had the Gerudo armor from Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, you know, that's actually something that would make Ganondorf interesting. So I hope that they go with it, because that's been one of my issues with Ganondorf for a while, is that I didn't really feel like he has a lot of menace, necessarily, to be, like, a truly, really threatening villain, but he's also not emotionally deep enough to be an interesting villain, but he's also not cartoony enough to be a funny villain.
Looking
So
at you,
he's just
Bowser.
kind of, yeah, basically. Like, I mean,
Well,
Bowser,
RPG Bowser. Normal Bowser is not funny in any way whatsoever. He is boring as sin.
He has visual menace, especially in this game, but he doesn't really have the story to back that up, you know?
The closest they got to me was Wind Waker, but they don't spend enough time on it.
I mean, also, Calamity Ganon is pretty spooky.
Well, Calamity
Until you get to
But
the
he's
final boss,
just-
and then you just really easy.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
difference between Ganon and Ganondorf. Ganon is sort of
Just a monster.
a monster
Yeah.
demon thing. Yeah.
like, some versions...
you can't kill me.
Some versions of Ganon I do think are threatening. Like, I actually really like Twilight Ganon design.
Oh really? I hate this dude. I think it's the I think it's one of the
I
weakest.
like it better than Ocarina of Time Ganon.
what? Bullshit.
Ocarina of Time
What?
Ganon looks so stupid. He looks
It's the most
really...
menacing Ganon of them all.
That's only because they don't show the top half of him. All right.
Yeah,
You
and that's
fill
why
your
it
mind
works.
in. You feel okay. So if I
You don't understand how scening works.
Yeah.
if I put up a lead sheet and said, "There's a really scary monster behind this lead sheet," it would be the most terrifying thing you've ever seen.
You don't understand how scening works, Ted.
I think.
Also, where'd you get the lead sheet?
if you're gonna
don't ask
evaluate
questions.
something's design, scening can't really be taken into account. You have to actually look at the design as a whole. But I actually, well, this is me talking as someone who played Link's Awakening, which didn't have Ganon at all, and Twilight Princess first. I prefer Twilight Princess.
Well, I mean,
Ganon.
Ganon is kind of in Link's Awakening.
Yeah, I was gonna say that myself too, but
Sort of, I suppose.
split second. You know what we mean. Nah, man, I Twilight Ganon
Is boring.
is just
No,
it's
I think he
really
looks
standard.
cool. Like, no, what do you mean standard? There's
Like,
like
it's like-
4 Ganons.
It's like Ganon's always been a massive pig demon. I get that.
Yeah, but he
it's
looks like
Twilight
what an
Ganon
actual
is like,
pig
Well,
looks
no,
why don't we
like.
just-
Okay.
why don't we
he's just
make
a
him
really
a
big. He's just a really big
really
boar.
big boar with long hair.
Okay,
It's
also,
that's
like,
boring.
I have an issue with Ganon actually being in this game in the first place, to be honest, so I'm
Well,
kind
like,
of
Oh
yeah,
well,
a lot
that's
of people do.
that's a like I agree, but,
But
that's
I know,
a different.
I know, but I think that
issue.
bias kind of affects it for me, where I'm just like, yeah, Ganon is stupid in this game, so it's like, I'm not gonna, like, have positive feelings one way or the other about his design, because I'm just pissed that he's there.
I mean, that's true, but like the reason why I like Twilight Ganon's design is, for one, he does look beastly and animal, whereas every other pig Ganon is like, that's all, folks.
Yeah,
Smack.
all right. Like NES Ganon, Link to the Past. Yeah, easily. I can see what you mean. It's basically just cartoon pork.
Whereas, and Ocarina of Time Ganon, part of why I don't like that design is that he's just really tall and has horns. and that's it. It's like the swords are more interesting than the actual person is in that design. So there are a lot of cool details to Twilight Ganon's design, like how he still has the giant scar on his chest.
Well, that's
and
on Ganondorf too. That's not really that's a plot point, not really a design
Well,
philosophy.
no, but I like how him having the giant scar on his chest goes both in his human and beast form. Like, I think that's neat, and not to mention like the way that
I just like that
horns-
because it's just a really lazy fuck me like.
Well, no, you don't ever really. No, I mean like it's not really where you need to hit.
Actually, it is. That's entirely where
well-
you need to hit him on Big Ganon.
Yeah, but it would have even without the light. It's not really where you need to. It's. Well,
no,
okay,
that's entirely where you hit him.
Actually, finish what I'm trying to say. Even without the light, Ganon falls over in like a pose where it's just like when you knock him down, where it's very clearly okay, hit him in his underside. It doesn't matter where he's glowing. I like that they pull designs from the Beast Ganon and the Human Ganon to make them feel like they're the same person, whereas Ocarina of Time Ganon and Ocarina of Time Ganondorf don't really mesh
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
it's kind of strange actually in retrospect, and I didn't really think about this until after I played Ocarina of Time. But it's kind of like at the last second of Ocarina of Time, they had this character called Ganondorf, who was obviously supposed to be Ganon, and then realized, oh shit, we forgot to make him look like Ganon. And then so they gave him a demon pig form. And
Well,
it's
no,
like,
but Ocarina of Time also serves as the foundation for Ganondorf, because
Well, yeah.
Ganondorf has been alluded to since Link to the Past. But we
Ganondorf?
never actually saw Ganondorf in any capacity until Ocarina of
wait,
Time.
by name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like in the if you leave the title screen running long enough or something, it's easy to miss. It's
No,
not.
there's some NPCs that tell you about it. I believe.
Yeah, but, like, you
Sarasa
talk to the
Falafel who talks to you about Ganondorf. For a
Yeah,
bit.
but like you talk to the people in 2D Zelda though. To be
When
real.
you're playing for the first time,
Okay, like maybe
you're the guy arguing about Ocarina of Time's Hyrule map not being very good, but your argument was, well, the first time you're playing it, you're not going to know.
Yeah, well, the first time, like, there are it's the first. There are lots of people who skip all the NPC dialogue even the first time they play the game. So it's not like it's not easy to miss too, because if you just happen to forget to go back to Kakariko Village during certain story points or whatever, you're just not going to see it. So it's not like it's important or interesting in any way.
It's
at all,
interesting.
anyhow.
I didn't know Ganondorf was ever mentioned by name before that. I thought it was always just Ganon. But whenever you see Ganon in any of those previous games, it's always in pig form.
Yeah, it's just straight up Ganon. Yeah,
It's evil Porky Pig. But you know,
with a trident.
but you know,
Yeah, but I like that they link the two Ganons together. I like that boss fight. I think it's cool that he and Link both have a beast form. I mean, we're a good how many parts early? A good like.
I mean,
what,
I would
30?
agree. I'd agree more about the fight if the fight wasn't really freaking basic.
yeah,
Like, I mean-
Because Wolf
like
Link
that
can't really
phase.
do much of anything.
Well, you can use both forms during that fight.
Again,
Yeah.
my problem is that the design of Beast Ganon in this game is just so standard. Like
it's not like it's not really.
It's not really. It doesn't really scream fantastical to me. Besides,
Well, that's
the size
the whole
of the
game.
creature and the long hair.
Well, that's the whole game doesn't really look like that. It's a more like we were talking about how we liked the way the Dodongos look because they look like a more realistic version of the enemy we've seen in these other games. Well, that's again like what would Ganon look like in the real world?
Yeah,
Probably something
I'm
like
not
that.
I'm not arguing that it doesn't fit thematically. It does. I just don't. At the end of the day, separating it from that, I don't think it jives like with me compared to other forms of the guy.
Well,
throughout
then your
different
taste in stuff is
incarnations.
bad, John.
At the-
You know
at the
what?
same time,
So you finally noticed.
at the same time, though, I think that was partly the intention, because they didn't end on Beast Ganon this time. They ended on a fight with Ganondorf, which is
Yeah,
an
well, that
interesting
I like.
decision.
Yeah.
An interesting decision, because usually you end on Ganon, but now you fight Ganondorf.
Honestly, the Ganon fight feels like an afterthought because they're like, oh, we want to have the wolf do something in this final fight because he's such a big gameplay mechanic
Yeah, but
elsewhere.
we obviously can't have the wolf fight Ganondorf. That'd just be ridiculous. But what if Ganondorf tried to mount Wolf Link as a boss mechanic?
Okay.
yeah,
You see, I'm really
remember?
glad that you said as a boss mechanic because
Oh.
I was about to say
Yeah.
that already exists.
No, I don't mean like fuck the thing, but I'm talking about No, remember Yoshi's Island, the against Baby Bowser? He actually like tries to ride Yoshi, like he knocks Baby Mario
Wait, he
off.
does?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I've never. You see,
So what if
I've
it was
never
Ganondorf
played
doing that?
the
Like,
original
he jumps
Yoshi's
in the air, tries
Island.
to do a ground pound, but knocks Midna off your back. Just
That
starts
would
to ride
actually
it.
be hilarious, though. I mean, it would not fit, but it would be funny.
I really hope that rumor about the SNES Switch
Same.
console is true,
Yeah.
because I don't want to pay $80 for an SNES Classic just to play the SNES version of Yoshi's Island.
I mean,
Well,
I paid
you could,
that,
you
and
could put a
still
bunch
want
of other
it.
stuff on it too. So
Like, I mean, yeah, but I also don't like illegally downloading stuff, so yeah. And I don't want to play. I know that the Game Boy Advance version exists, but I don't like the idea of playing a Yoshi game with half the buttons.
don't play the SNES version of Yoshi.
Well, that's something I want to go back to for a minute, because we're talking about the Ocarina of Time Ganon design and Twilight Princess Ganon. But what do you guys do feel about like Calamity Ganon? I'm not talking about the smoky apparition, but like the physical thing you fight at the end. of
The final boss. Or,
He
yeah,
was
not Beast Ganon, Calamity Ganon.
He was.
Oh, you're talking about the
scary.
spider-looking
Yeah,
guy.
was-
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
red mane.
Like,
yeah.
aesthetically, he was really interesting and scary, and I like what they did with it because it was definitely new, but also, yeah, it wasn't a hard fight.
I think that Ganon as an idea in Breath of the Wild is the best Ganon that they've had.
He's more of a force of
because-
nature than anything else.
Exactly. Yeah.
except
and-
that feels kind of counterproductive to what he's been the entire time.
Oh no, it doesn't really fit the series, but Breath of the Wild, if you're taking it as its own merits, like he's there throughout the entire game because he's the Ganon muck.
Yeah,
that's all over the
I
place.
mean, I would have liked it better if that had more of an explanation for why it is what it is, because it just kind of feels. I mean, if it's your first Zelda game, you're not really gonna care. It's just as a long fan of the series, it feels kind of out of nowhere.
Well, no,
I
I
feel
think they insinuate that Breath of the Wild is so far removed from any other Zelda game timeline-wise that it's just like
Stand
the 1
alone.
millionth reincarnation of Ganon.
It's like supposed to be the last one ever
they
as
needed
well.
they needed to do a better job explaining stuff like that, because
You know.
they go into he's given up on reincarnation. Okay, I get that at the end of the game. Why is he a force of nature, mucky, floating around spirit thing?
I just
think
kind of
it- yeah,
chalked
I
it up
think it's
to
just
like
because
Breath
that-
of the Wild is really unique on its own and not really a continuation of anything. I know technically it's supposed to be quote unquote, but at the same time, Breath of the Wild is so different from all the other Zelda games anyway that I don't really hold it to them as much as I would say like Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword, where it has a really concrete spot in like the timeline or whatever. But Breath of the Wild, I kind of give a free pass on stuff like that.
I also don't. It also matters how much you care about that kind of stuff.
I mean, sort of. It's one of those. They do just enough hinting in other games that I kind of want an explanation for why Ganon's this way, but it's like, okay, if you want to do something completely different, sure, say that it's like not related to anything. You're
That's
doing
why
your
to
own
me
thing.
it's satisfying to place Breath of the Wild at the very end of it.
Well, no, it definitely is. It's a matter of, okay, but during cutscenes they reference Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time and Skyward Sword. There are references to previous games as little as they are, so it's like, okay, then why are things the way they are?
Well, it's
If
also one
if
thing
those
that
games still happened.
Well, one of the things I do like about the game is that it's like the Guardian stuff was made like what 1,000 years before the fall, and then there's 100 years after that. So it's been a long ass time.
Yeah.
I think is the other thing about Breath of the Wild. So,
Yeah.
and again, I think going too deep into explanations would just lead to nerd prattling that doesn't matter.
Which is, I
Oh,
think, is the
it-
entire point of BrainScratch Commentaries.
I mean, like, again, Ted, the point I'm making is, if you want to avoid that stuff and do your own thing, fine. Why are you bringing up previous games then?
I think at that point it's more just like fan fodder, like an acknowledgement more so than it is involving it in the canon. Just like
Yeah.
yes, we
I-
remember
I-
this
I
thing.
guess. but-
Sometimes an Easter egg is just an Easter egg.
I guess.
But is it?
Yeah, it is. Shut up.
Okay.
For the sake of the conversation, yes.
So anyway, there goes a Smash Brothers stage.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay, so I didn't know when I was playing this game the first time that you could bring bugs to you using the
boomerang.
boomerang. So there were like several.
You had no idea how to get up there.
Yeah, basically. Well, I mean, you can get that one, I think, normally later on once you get the claw shot and you climb up there normally. Or it might be the spinner. I don't know. It's the claw shot because the marking's right there. But there's like one that you absolutely need the boomerang to get, and I'm like, how the hell are you supposed to even get that? And I just never thought to try the boomerang.
It's not immediately obvious, I don't think, so like I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, it's not a big deal either because it's such a minor
Yeah.
The bugs are such a minor collectible anyhow.
It's just one of those things where you're kind of not sure why you would even be able to lock onto it with the boomerang in the first place.
Yeah.
I guess
Ooh,
because
this
you
is
can
the,
lock onto technically everything with
This
the
is the
Items.
developing sequence here.
Yeah, it makes more sense to me than like the heart pieces, where I'm so used to ingrained in that those things don't move ever, that I just don't ever think to go out of my way to get them. Like to try, the idea to try and move it with my items wouldn't ever
Tad,
make sense
you
to
could have
me.
rode your horse over here and then dismount it.
Shush, shush.
It would have been faster.
You and your making sense. Get out of here.
Well, that was easy.
I think when you get the Master Sword, one
Spin attack will do it.
spin
Yeah.
attack will do it, I'm pretty sure.
So, if I recall correctly, this is where you can encounter the game-breaking glitch
Yep.
in the first GameCube release of the game. If you were to save your game here, you would reload on the other side of the broken bridge,
Oh no.
Yeah, and you can't get across.
and you can't get across.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
really easy to do too.
It's one of those things where it's you think, okay, how didn't they catch that in testing? But I guess I don't know if they tried saving and quitting at literally every spot is basically the only answer that I can think of for that.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I understand why it got missed, but on the other hand, several kids had to replay the game all the way through, and that's like a good 5
that's
hours. by
the
this point.
entire game is dead.
Yeah.
You can't proceed. I want to say it was just on the first release of Twilight Princess, so those that had the first release game.
I mean, honestly, the Wii version's even buggier with what you can do with it. So,
Did
especially
Skyward
if you're doing version 1.0 of the hardware.
Skyward Sword had something similar with
Because
the
I remember
Thunder
that
Dragon,
also
I
had
think it was.
multiple releases, I think. I don't know much about Skyward Sword other than Fi is annoying and motion controls. So I don't know much about the glitches for that or the soft locks or any of that type of
It
stuff.
uses lots of back in time to speedrun.
I know that. So I remember sometime during the first 10 parts I said that back in time doesn't exist. I lied. It does.
It does. It's how you
it
break
just-
a lot of shit in this game.
It's just not as broken as Skyward Sword is
No.
in that sense, but still plenty broken.